cookies, pumpkin pie. We will discover them all. Come for the ride with me and Buzz. It's time to jump in, 'cause this is the Logo Files. Hello and welcome to the Logo Files Commonwealth Games Special!
I just can't wait. I mean, a whole week or so of sports. I mean, I can't do any of the sports, but I'm sure I'll be good. So, what logo are we doing for this event?
Well, since this year's Commonwealth Games are held in Birmingham, I thought we could take a look at one of the most iconic logos to ever be associated with Birmingham and the Midlands. It is, without further introduction, Associated Television, better known as ATV.
I have a very important question. Why has everything suddenly turned black and white?
Well, in order to understand the history of ATV, we have to do things in the style of ATV. So who was ATV? Well, ATV, or to give it its full name, Associated Television Limited, was the ITV franchise holder for the Midlands and broadcasted from the 17th of February 1956 to the 31st of December 1981. And when it comes to their programming, there's just so many programs that ATV have made across the decades. There are shows such as The Golden Shot, The Avengers, The Muppet Show, Tiswas, Crossroads, Midlands Today. The list just goes on. We are now ready to tackle a monumental part of ATV's history. Let's go!
Hey, is it okay if I do the analysis this time?
You mean you actually want to do it?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do it.
Well, go on then.
Okay, let's see what we've got in this logo. On a beige-colored background, we see three circles, one red, one green, and one blue, form a spectrum, and the words "in color" fade in underneath in black. Then the background turns blue, the circles come together, and form the famous ATV shadowed eye logo, which settles in the center of the screen and turns yellow. And the logo is complete.
Now that cheesy moire effect that forms the shadowed eye was a very common thing to do with TV islands in the 70s. However, before this, there was a black and white version which only did the second half of the animation.
Though there is something that I would like to cover. This version, the color version, is called Zoom 2. What did Zoom 1 look like? Well, it looked like this. Riveting, isn't it? In fact, to show you how similar this is to the color version, we're going to take the first half of the color version and then the second half of the black and white version and put them together.
Now, throughout its life, ATV has always had three main notes in its jingle. Or should I say, three main notes. But they've changed over time. Here's how it sounded in the 50s. Now here's what the ATV motif sounded like in the 70s. Now it would obviously take a madman to create the magnificent sounder. And the man that did was the prolific composer Wally Stott. He thought of playing the three motif not once, not twice, not even three times, but four. In fact, we're going to play the visuals again, but this time we're going to point out each version of the three notes.
Now, sadly, this segment is going to be a little bit shorter. Only because, sadly, there's only one variant of the ATV logo we could find. Only one. And while the animation is the same, the fanfare is slightly different.
Slightly different? This variant is completely different. For starters, this version of the fanfare is in a lower key. Hang on a second. Let's play these two side by side again. Why is one version slightly slower than the other? Okay, I apologise for that outburst, but to me, the version we just heard and the normal one are completely different. And to be fair, it was a bit of a bold move for them to change it, but I like the old version just the same. So, there we have it. ATV. Now, what are our final thoughts about this logo? Well, in my opinion, it's a very, very symbolic logo. It's a logo that stands the test of time at being very, very nostalgic for those that, remember some of the shows that this logo came before.
And to be truly honest, it's a very, very cool logo. I mean, look, the shadowed eye. It's a very cool name and a very cool design.
And we hope that this logo will be remembered for many years to come. Well, that just about brings us to the end of today's episode. But do join us again when we'll be looking into the wide world of Hollywood, because it's a jungle out there. We'll see you next time. Saturday.